Play that hot gay music.
I love being in the back room because you can, when we're like watching the music play, because you get to see us dancing. I should film that sometime because it's so much fun to watch.
You should. I don't know why I was like doing this and being like, ooh, like a gay ghost. Ooh.
Oh my God. Do you know what my favorite part about summer is during Pride Month is watching Babadook?
Fair. That is fitting.
He is the gay icon, Babadook.
Absolutely. It's interesting how that came about. Like, when was that? Wasn't it like 2017 or something?
It was, yes.
Wild. And it's been like 5 years so far. I don't get it.
Absolutely.
I don't get it.
Love Babadook.
So, what have you been up to and how have you been?
I've been living my best bi lifestyle. I am a star. I am made of stars. You are made of stars. We are all made of stars. We are living our best star energy during this hot gay month. Notification. I'm not sure
The universe agreed with you. That was the universe being like, yes, you guys are stars.
I'm not sure what that was. I'm gonna have to check. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm coming up on the end of my semester at graduate school. Hopefully I pass this semester. I've been getting an A in the class, A- in the class. So hopefully I do well on this last paper, and get on the honor roll again. That would be fun.
And that is so exciting that you got on the honor roll. Congratulations, by the way.
And yeah, I looked up my merit page because I had what they do is they put it on to like this page, and I haven't been getting notifications, but like the every semester since I've started, I've been on the honor roll. I was like, oh, nobody told me. They posted about it on Facebook. How have you been?
Oh, I've been doing pretty well. I've actually been like kind of lazy this week. I've not been really doing a lot. I've been putzing around the garden, doing, like a little snip, snip here, snip, snip there. Beyond that, I think I've just been like watching. I've been doing my yearly rewatch of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
What did he have to say about it?
Oh, Brit just goes with it. He's not a Star Trek fan. He's just like, I know you need to do this every year. You're good. If I can get through the Centaur World show, he can survive Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh.
Yeah, you remember that show, don't you?
I do, yeah. I was reading a discourse about literary theory around Centaur World, that each of the centaurs is related to one of the mental illnesses. And so they encapsulate like one of the major schools of mental illness. Like one is like narcissistic personality disorder, one is PTSD. And so like they were talking about like their traits and things like that. And so like it was very interesting to like delve into like the schools of like the DSM-5 and like their personality traits as related to like mental disorders and like how they reacted the way they did.
That's interesting.
So I was reading about that on Tumblr. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that people were like digging into the mental like states of each of the centaurs.
I'm also just amused that you were reading about, like, I've not been on Tumblr in so long. Tumblr still exists.
It does. It's sort of like cockroaches. They just sort of like exist in a radiated world of like Twitter and Elon Musk's Twitter and the carcass of Facebook and somehow like the dead bones of MySpace. It's sort of like it somehow just keeps existing, and it's like if you turn on a light, they all scatter like they
At
just
this
scatter under
point,
the fridge.
MySpace is like a fossil in the great depths, like beneath the layers of crust.
People still use MySpace. I don't know why they do, but they do. It's sort of it's kind of like, but people, Twitter has become a hellscape. I don't know why. I don't. You have a public Twitter anymore. I have a private Twitter in which I dump all of my thoughts screaming into the quiet void, just throwing all of my thoughts endlessly in a constant barrage of a conversation to myself. Why not?
Mm.
And I just scroll and look at other people's tweets. Then I look at Tumblr and read other people's literary theories. And then I look at Facebook and listen to old people scream at clouds. It's, that's my life.
Facebook. Facebook is an interesting place. So I got in a fight today on Facebook with a transphobe. You want to hear about that?
Yes.
So, okay. Obviously, we've had episodes or we've talked about like what's been happening with like Target and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've made some sort of, of course, I put out in the world like a thought, and it always brings in the haters sometimes, but I do that on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this thought where I was just like, if you're one of those people who's like, I accept gay and trans people, but keep politics out of my beer or my retail, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I was like, you know what? If you're one of those people that say that, then you weren't comfortable with our existence in the first place. So I don't know why you would say, oh, I'm okay with gay and trans people, because you're really not. And
Mm-hmm.
some person who I've known for a long time slinked out of the woodwork, out of the what's happening to my parasol, out of the woodwork, and they were just like, but our children and grooming, blah, blah. And I was just like, what are you talking about?
Donny, getting into fights with people on Facebook is not the way to have a hot gay summer.
I know, but I felt hot after I blocked them.
That's the way to do it.
I felt hot after I got my last word and blocked them.
That you get hot-headed and then you have a hot gay summer, and when you regain your calm and block them.
It's like a workout. It's like a workout. Ooh, I'm feeling warm now just thinking about that. Okay, so another thing that I've been up to this past weekend, I went to Motor City Pride in Detroit, which was super duper fun. It's been a long time since I've been to Motor City Pride, and it's grown so much since I've been to it last.
So who were the drag queens that were there? Because I think I recognized some of them.
Well, obviously, like the big one, like I would say the most recognizable one is Sabin. So Sabin is like Michigan's, like one of Michigan's most popular drag queens. Like she's, had a career in Michigan for like over 15 years, I think. And those were the shows that we actually went to. We went to Sabin's shows, and she was stunning, like talented.
I think she's coming to Muskegon for a show in pretty soon.
Probably. I met Sabin once when we were at CMU, because she came because like CMU used to do like a lot of things for like National Coming Out Week in October.
Mm-hmm.
And she would come to that. So like I got to meet her back then, but like just getting to see her again, like she's still like so talented. Like it's just mind-boggling to me. But so we got to Motor City Pride. The line was super duper long, and there was like a little gaggle of like anti-LGBTQ plus protesters like gathered outside being like, you're gonna die horribly. Like gays are like you're grooming everyone. Like, and I'm just like, people were like hollering at them and stuff like that, but I was just like, it's just like 5 people. Like,
But the thing about it is like, okay, so everybody's gonna die eventually someday, but like,
we
why?
really jumped into the existential area.
I'm just saying, like, everybody's gonna die someday eventually. It's like, why are you gonna die just because who you love? Like, that's so ridiculous to me. It's such a weird, nonsensical argument. Like, just because you love somebody, like, you're gonna go to a place that I have deemed as like the place in which everybody goes, and like my philosophy is the only all-encompassing philosophy in the universe.
Out of the thousands of philosophies that there are, mine is the one that's correct. So like you have to abide by it. Rah. Like, no, it's so exhausting. But honestly, like dealing with those people, like, it wasn't super lengthy. We got in pretty quickly. And once we got into Pride, it was huge. There were so many people. I got like really bad sunburn.
I told you to wear sunscreen. Did I not tell you?
No, I did.
Wear sunscreen, drink water. Did I not tell you that?
Ari, I wore 50 SPF sunscreen.
You need to reapply during the day.
I reapplied 4 times still. So no, here is what I think the issue was. It was the spray sunscreen, not the liquid.
Oh.
So I think this, like, personally for me, the spray does not work as well. And like, because if you sweat throughout the day, like it rubs off, right? So I think that's what was happening. But then
were you a sweaty boy?
Ari, I have never sweat so much in my life. Like, it was like 9,000. It was 9,000 degrees.
You were just like
day.
a loaf, and you were just like an oven baking.
Like, it felt like the surface of the sun. But then I bought this, my little Pride parasol. I didn't need it. And Britt was just like, do you really need that? And I'm just like, absolutely. Okay. So
this just shows me that you are slightly like a Japanophile. You are a Japanophile.
Absolutely. And well, no, I love parasols, and being that I get sunburn easily, like, this thing saved me the rest of that day.
If you don't go to Japan and carry that with you, I will be very disappointed.
If I go to Japan carrying this with me, they're gonna probably like
they're gonna look at you and be ashamed.
They're gonna be like, who is this wild American gay walking here?
Oh my
prancing
God,
here.
If you go to Cat Island with that, will you take pictures?
Just posing with the cats. Oh, I didn't show you. I also have my
daddy. Oh my God. How many episodes are we going to say where I'm going to say daddy?
Daddy. We better say it every episode from now until forever. Do you want to show your outfit?
Oh my God. Here we go. I made this. I made this. I made this. I made this.
Ari literally designed it.
Oh my God.
It's so cool. Do you want to talk about that?
So, because I have an Etsy store, I have access to a print, like, it's called Printful, but like you can use like basically like Redbubble, Printful, whatever, Printable. It's basically just like its own little like fast fashion, whatever. You can make your own designs or whatever. But like, I was like, this is my own personal textile spill. I'm just going to take my own designs and I'm going to create them and I'm going to do whatever. And this is my own personal like shop now, because nobody buys my designs. I'm not going to put them in a store. I'm just going to create them for myself and make my own artwork and wear it.
A creative outlet. I love that though.
Absolutely. That's just my life now.
But you know what?
I was like, I need to fuck it up though, because it's too pretty. I was like, I'm gonna take some like puffy paint or something, or like some bedazzle, like, you know those like bedazzle machines where you just go like, I need to like
just to add like some sort of like splashes to it or something.
Yeah, I need to fuck it up a little bit. I need to make it like a little bit. I need to rough it up a little bit and like do some destruction. Just like make it like
that's a great philosophy in life, honestly.
Honestly. I was like, I need to make some wearable art. We need to do something.
You know, it could go viral, and then you might have people being like hitting up that Etsy shop being like, Ari, I need this.
But the back of it doesn't look as nice. So what I did was I flipped it. So I don't know if you can see, but like it looks a little weird in the back. Because I flipped,
Oh,
can you see? It's flipped.
yeah.
So like he's upside down pointing towards my armpit.
It's not too. I do love the pointing to the arm. That's funny.
It's because I was like, I have to make it like interesting in the back. So like he's pointing this way, and then he's pointing like up at my armpit in the back.
What
So it
about
looks
what
a little
about
funny
the
in the back, but it's
what
fine
about the
in front.
necklace you're wearing?
Oh, this is just some old chunky jewelry that I have. I need more chunky jewelry in my life. I'm getting older. I need chunky jewelry in my life. I need to buy more chunky jewelry.
I don't wear a lot of jewelry. I almost did for Pride, but I mean, of course, other than the important jewelry right here. But I don't wear like any like neck jewelry, and I'm thinking of changing that. I need to do it.
If we need to invest in old lady chunky jewelry because we are getting to be fine wine. And I don't know about you, but there's nothing finer than old lady chunky jewelry.
One of these days, when our podcast gets famous and we go viral, our merch will be that.
Old lady chunky jewelry.
Old lady, like I'll sell parasols. Like I'll find a way to make parasols. I'll contract somebody to
Anyway,
make parasols.
we're getting off topic here. Let's talk about current events. Do we want to do
the show mission statement?
The mission statement, yes.
Is it your turn or my turn?
It's my turn. Here, let me come up.
Can you tell everyone that we're a little chaotic tonight? It's fine though. Like it's
hot gay summer. It's hot gay summer. Here we go. We live in a dynamic society where social media shapes us by creating greater opportunities for connection. It has led to a developing understanding of the adversity many marginalized communities face, the powers causing the adversity, and those who act as bystanders as atrocities take place in real time. Our goal with this show is to make connections and have challenging conversations about social topics, current events, pop culture, and art. Together, let's weave the threads of understanding with what privilege we have in order to learn, educate, and create in a world that's growing.
That was beautiful.
I tried to give my best radio announcer voice. Did it work?
It was stunning, actually. You deserve an Oscar, honestly.
I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank God.
So, current event snapshots. So, okay, I'm mad. I'm mad. So, Taylor's here. Hello, Taylor.
Hello, Taylor.
Fabulous tonight. Can you tell?
We're feeling feisty tonight.
We are.
And we're talking about current events.
Oh,
current
yes. So,
what's in the news?
First, I'm annoyed because we went to Pride on Saturday. On Sunday, we were originally going to go. Governor Whitmer was there on Sunday, and we would have been able to meet her.
You didn't get to meet Governor Whitmer. The baddest bitch herself.
No. But, right. Thoughts. Taylor wants to hear our thoughts on Reddit.
Did you hear what happened with Reddit? Oh my God, I'm so upset. So what they did was they took out third-party apps on Reddit. So most of these subreddits have shut down. Reddit is basically dead. And I'm so upset. I'm so upset. My Hydra homies. I haven't been able to use my Hydra homies subreddit. I'm so mad about Reddit. Like Reddit. Reddit is such a good app. I love Reddit so much. And like I can only use certain subreddits now. I can't use all of my subreddit apps. So pissed about Reddit.
So why would they make that decision? Why would they do that?
Because they wanted to kill all like some of the moderation on Reddit, and they wanted to kill third-party apps on Reddit. But basically, it destroyed the ability for mods to do their moderation on Reddit and like the debating on Reddit. I'm so. They're doing a blackout, but some of these subreddits are not coming back from the blackout, and that's what I'm pissed about.
No, I'm sorry about that. Wow, that's wild. I never used Reddit, so like I didn't even know. Like, when did that happen? Was it like
It's on the
today?
12th. No, it was on the 12th that they went black.
Oh, I remember
And
seeing Reddit trending on Twitter, and I guess that was probably why then.
right, because they got rid of the third-party apps, but like a lot of these subreddits, they're not going to be able to do proper moderation without these third-party apps. They just can't handle, because like what they do, like the Hydro Homies group that I'm part of, they can't manage like dupe posts and like certain porn bot posts and things like that to the groups.
Yeah, because
So
Reddit can be wild with that.
so I'm just it hurts the app. It hurts the app to not be able to use those third party apps, and so it's so stupid, so stupid. I'm so mad. Hate it. I'm very passionate about this.
When you were raging for a second, your screen like froze, and then it was like shaky.
Very mad about Reddit. I'm very passionate about Reddit.
So Taylor says, I met Whitmer at Detroit Pride the year she was. I'm so jealous. Well, okay, so circulating back to Pride and Governor Whitmer being at Pride. So she announced some sort of, I think it was like either called a committee or a coalition to like assess LGBTQ plus climate and, representation and stuff like that in Michigan. And I believe that Michigan's the first state to ever do something like that, if memory serves me correctly, which is totally cool. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to research it later, but I'm fairly sure I read that when it happened. But like, honestly, she tweeted something today where she was like, if you're LGBTQ plus and you want to feel safe, move to Michigan. And I was just like, you know what? It does feel really good to be in Michigan right now as an LGBTQ plus person. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not perfect. Like, there are things that I know unsettle us, right?
It shouldn't be that there should be safe zones, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It should not feel like the Handmaid's Tale where you're fleeing for your life because you're afraid for your safety.
Absolutely.
Or your well-being or your ability to gain proper health care or access to proper gender affirming or life affirming health care. It just should not feel that way. And I hate that Michigan has to say, come to Michigan if you want to feel safe, or come to Washington, or come to these safe zones, because it should not have to be this way. Because what happens when Governor Whitmer comes to term and we vote someone else into office? What if they're less than if they have a different ideology than Governor Whitmer, then what happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's never permanence. Like, we always have to worry about like when the next shoe is going to drop. And I think this is the difficult thing that requires us to have to explain it to people, because people always think that like, oh, well, you're safe. Like, shouldn't you like be at ease? And it's like, no, because like in 4 years, we could be repeating this all over again, or we could be set back 10 years with legislation happening, right? So
because it's safe now, but what about 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, or 15 years from now? What's it going to be like? And
absolutely,
because 10 years ago it was not safe in Michigan, and 5 years ago, before Governor Whitmer, we had Rick Snyder as our governor, and he was definitely not safe.
Absolutely, especially for the LGBTQ plus community.
I'm just saying, like, because we have Governor Whitmer now, it's fine now. But what about when Governor Whitmer's not in office? What is it going to be like for us?
Like, what will be the next step? So Taylor says, I'm pretty proud of Michigan these days, same. And then Taylor says, having a child with a uterus is mildly terrifying right now. Absolutely. Especially when we see what's happening in other states. Like, it's so scary.
It's just like we have people coming to as a mass exodus to places like Michigan But when will it be time to make a mass exodus from Michigan? I'm just saying, like,
Right.
when is
Will we be will we be like the next Florida? Will we be the next Texas?
it's just when is it going to be like it should be safe all around is what I'm saying, and we should make this whole country safe. We should be unified.
Yes. And I think that right now Michigan is a good model and a good template to look at, because let's be honest, not to do a horrible transition here, but let's be honest, because we're in Michigan, we can have a hot gay summer and feel fine about it.
I know times are good now. Let's live in the best part.
So all right. So tonight we decided to do kind of like a lighthearted little like hot gay summer episode. I don't know, like how did we come up with this episode idea? Oh,
Because
Taylor, see you later. We love
bye,
you.
Taylor. But you know what it is? It's because it is Pride Month, and we are just living our best gay old time, less LGBTQ plus time, and we're just living, love, and laughing all the way down to the the Hobby Lobby to gay up the place. Actually, I went to Hobby Lobby. I went into Hobby Lobby, and the cashier took one look at me, my non-binary bisexual ass, said welcome, and started laughing because she knew my gay ass did not belong in there. She was
You
like,
went in and you
welcome.
did not get struck by lightning. Congratulations.
She was like, welcome. And I was like, I'm in hell. I was like, I just need brushes.
That's too funny. We're getting a Hobby Lobby in our town
Oh
soon.
my God, get a Michael's. It's pagan.
We have a Michael's actually.
Go to Michael's. It's so
Wait,
much.
do we have No, we have Marshall's. Michael's is in Saginaw.
They don't steal artifacts from Iraq.
So, oh my goodness. Oh my God, another current event that we missed.
Oh, let's just move on.
Are we skipping that one? Okay, we're skipping that one because life is too great. I mean, so obviously,
let's see how that develops before we talk about the Trump indictment. Let's be honest.
That's fair. That's fair. So obviously, hot gay summer is a planned hot girl summer. And yeah, we are doing this for Pride Month, but are we doing it for any other reason? Like, are we just kind of taking confidence in ourselves, who we are now? What do you think? What are we doing?
When I think of hot gay summer, honestly, I think of Sex in the City, because that's when I first saw like hot gay summer, because like that was like because when I don't know what it was, but like all the gays would watch Sex in the City and they would just live their best hot gay life. I don't know, when I think hot gay summer, I just think Sex in the City for some reason. Like all the gays would watch Sex in the City and they would talk shit about Sarah Jessica Parker.
Do you know what's really funny? I'm one of the few gays. I'm one of the few gays who's never watched Sex in the City.
Oh my God. But I'm
gonna hide now because I'm gonna get eviscerated for it.
No, I never watched Sex in the City either. You know what I feel like this is a very good testament to me as a person. I've never watched Sex in the City and I've never watched Friends. I've never watched either of those two shows because I just never, like, first of all, I just thought Friends was just too unbelievable as a show, and I never got into it. And like Sex in the City, like the sex seemed really boring to me. Like whenever I would hear about it, it just sounded really boring and straight, and it was just really kind of annoying. Like it just didn't seem like very interesting sex to me. Like they would talk about it and they'd be like, "Oh, sex," and I would just be like, "Oh, straight white woman sex, fine."
Your interpretation of their reaction was iconic. Oh,
they were just like, "Let's have drinks and talk about sex," and I was just like, I was just like, but like it was like it was like all of the straight girls would hang out with their little gay besties and talk about Sex in the City and just get so excited about it. And I was just like, I just didn't understand the appeal. Like it just did not. Like I understand like the shoes thing I could understand. Like the shoes were like to die for. The fashion was like I understand, but like so I would look at the pictures of like what she was wearing and stuff, and sometimes I would like look at the couture of Sex in the City, but I just could not sit through an episode because it was so boring.
So speaking of like hotness, so like I'm thinking of like shows in the 2000s, like Sex and the City, and like what's the other one? Queer as Folk. That was like another one that was like a really popular one at the time. And like the body representation in both of those shows, like I like personally, after having watched Queer as Folk, really felt like I was such an unattractive gay.
Do you know what show made my hot gay summer? Was Daria. That was like my hot gay summer is
That was your
Daria.
hot gay summer. Charmed was my hot gay summer.
You know why? It's because I'm bisexual and she would wear skirts and she would wear combat boots. And that was just like the most bi thing that I could think of is just that she was just like this stupid little intellectual who thought she was this little pretentious little know-it-all something or another. And she hung out with her best friend Jane, which you cannot tell me that they did not have a gay relationship. They definitely had a gay best friend relationship. They were gay for each other. You cannot tell me otherwise. And they would hang out with each other, and Jane got jealous that she got a boyfriend, but they were definitely gay besties. Don't tell me that they weren't gay for each other. They definitely were. And because she was the nerdy one and her friend was the artsy one, and they were definitely gay for each other. You cannot tell me otherwise.
So Charmed for me was my hot gay summer. Charmed had horrible LGBTQ plus representation, but just the idea of these three witches going to work every day in their outfit, like they looked like their fashion was so like late 90s, 2000s, like
my God,
crop tops, like and I'm just like, these girls can just go to work, come home, slay some demons because they're witches, right? And save the world and then go on a date. I'm just like, how, like, I'm just like, this, like, if they can do this, I can get my ass out of bed in the morning and go to work. I can go to class in the morning. So that was, I would say that would be mine.
My hot gay summer was watching Scooby-Doo.
What?
No, oh my God. Velma is so Velma and Daphne.
Isn't it funny how I immediately guessed it?
It's Daphne and Velma. Don't even lie. You know that they were hot and gay for each other.
Oh, absolutely. I still also ship Fred and Shaggy. They were
absolutely.
The Scooby Gang was just a band of gays. Let's just be honest.
I would be like 14, 15 years old, singing along to the Scooby-Doo theme, watching reruns on Cartoon Network, living my best Scooby-Doo life.
Jinkies.
Jinkies, guys.
Oh my goodness. So how have we gotten hot for this summer? Like, how would you say we've gotten hot for the summer?
So I have gotten hot in that I have had so what I've been doing is I've been taking pictures of myself and allowing myself to really just look at my body and like have like a mental glow up, and that I just have like such a confidence in my body, like because I have a binder now. So I feel I have gender affirming hardware now. So like if I don't want to have boobs, I don't have to have boobs. I have outfits that I can kind of like play with how my appearance looks. I've been like looking at my body from all these different angles, clothed, unclothed, in the mirror, like from the back, from the front, from the side, in wigs, like with makeup, without makeup. I've been looking at myself from all these different angles, and I've really just been like looking at myself and being like, wow, like I have this confidence that I did not have when I was in my 20s or even my early 30s, before before I came home from Seattle, when I was when I was with my last with any of my boyfriends, with any time that I was ever with anybody else. And so for the first time in my life, I feel no gender dysphoria, no body dysmorphia, no hate in my body. Like that's truly empowering, that
Wow.
I like how I look. I am happy with my body. I don't care about the number on the scale. I barely weigh myself now. I might weigh myself once a day, maybe. And I used to weigh myself probably like 13 or 14 times a day. I
Mhm.
don't do that anymore. I don't.
Wow, that's a huge step for you too.
It is. I don't write down everything that I eat. I don't do that anymore. Um, I When I'm hungry, I eat. If I'm not hungry, I don't eat. I don't binge. If I eat, I just allow myself to eat, be full, and just listen to my body and tell myself, what am I hungry for? What do I want? And then I eat it.
That's really empowering. I'm glad that you've gotten to this point where you have felt regulated and that you are able to see and appreciate your body as a whole, right? So like it's interesting that we're talking about this because I was talking about this with someone the other day because as LGBTQ plus people, we have a very unique struggle with body because we spend our lives prior to coming out navigating like these social norms for body expectations for white cisgender heterosexual community, that community. But then when we finally come out and we are assimilating into our like LGBTQ plus communities, we're navigating a whole nother set of expectations that are under discussed, underrepresented as well. Like the diversity is very underrepresented when it comes to body.
Especially
And
like for me as a non-binary person, I'm
yeah,
expected to have an androgynous body type. I'm supposed to look stick thin, like I'm supposed to look heroin chic. I'm
right,
supposed
yeah.
I'm supposed to look like, oh, almost ambiguous. I'm supposed to look ethereal or fairy like. I'm supposed to not I'm supposed to almost wear masculine clothing, like almost be almost in the masculine shifting body. I'm
Mhm.
supposed to, so to wear dresses, to wear longer hair, that is,
Yeah,
no, you're not supposed to do that.
right,
So
yeah. Well,
it's
and,
very,
and sometimes the thing is, like, in my experience, like, I've gone through phases where I've gotten comfortable, but then like something will like happen, or I might change something where I don't feel comfortable for a while. Like I feel like because we have navigated those histories of those struggles that like it's like a constant vigilance, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Now, like it's interesting because I recently chopped my hair off, right?
Hmm.
And I since like seventh or eighth grade have always had like longer hair.
Yeah.
I've always felt comfortable having longer hair because when it came to hair, like I don't know, I felt more feminine in a way because of it and I liked that. But once I cut my hair off, like that was kind of like my comfort when it came to like physically being represented that way. And I've gotten used to it now. Like I've gotten used to like now like I can look at myself with really, really short hair like this and be like, I actually feel attractive. Like I actually think that I look okay, right?
Well, I was
Um,
telling you in the back room that I thought you looked like George Michael.
I know, and that was like the hugest compliment ever. I love that. And I normally don't wear sunglasses either, but
You look so good.
we're both hot.
You are.
We are
You are.
hot.
Yes.
So I guess like on the journey that I've gotten to now, or where I am on my journey, I don't agonize over the scale anymore, similar to you, like I used to. Because I used to be very like obsessive over that. And I would kind of just like agonize over every single thing that I would eat. And now I've gotten to the point where I don't really do that. Like I have my moments, like small moments, here and there. But I'm able to kind of like navigate myself out of those moments without like losing myself in them. Because there's like, I call it the spiral. Like you like if you really get caught up in it, you can kind of like spiral into like a repetition, right? Or what is the word I'm thinking of? You spiral into a habit, a repetition. Well, you know what I mean. I think you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. But I don't do that because I have a nutritionist that has wormed her way into my psyche. And so every time I start to go down that road, I just hear my nutritionist going, don't do that. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to love yourself.
Proof that nutritionists are very, very helpful and worthwhile. Because like some people will say, oh, skip the nutritionist. But no, like if you get a good one.
Right. So I have a standing appointment with my nutritionist every 6 months, just to keep me like on track. Also my therapist. My therapist is a good support system too.
Same here.
They just like they just have fought this diet culture that says, I'm allowed to feed my body, and it's not saying that I shouldn't eat healthy. That's not saying that I shouldn't make good food choices or good body choices, or that I shouldn't exercise or do any of those things. But it's saying that I should be happy, and that's the thing.
Absolutely. I love that. And see, like that's what we need though. We need those support networks, right? Because those support networks keep us accountable, show us like very good processes that we can work with, right? And that's so important.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you have like any affirmations that you use going into hot gay summer?
So if you are listening to this, wherever you are out in internet land, just remember you're hot. You may or may not be gay. You are unique in this world. You are beautiful, soul, mind, body, spirit, and you are wonderful. You are part of this very interesting, unique ecosystem that we call a planet, hurtling through space. And you are a very unique individual part of that ecosystem. I know that everybody says, oh, well, they're just special snowflakes. You know what? You are a very special snowflake. And we should live up to it. You should live up to the fact that you have this one life, you have this one body, you have this one. Why don't you own it? Why don't we own that we are very special, unique snowflakes in this very special, unique system, in this very special, unique universe? I don't understand why people do. It boggles my mind. Like, yes, we are very, like, the chances that you are alive right now is very interesting, isn't it?
It is. And like what you just said there was like it gave me goosebumps. So the truth is like people who will weaponize snowflake, I think those are the people who don't feel a sense of specialness themselves. So what they do is they weaponize it, right? So they try to like make other people feel the way that they're feeling.
I just don't think that they realize is like they try to make it seem like they're like, oh, do you want a trophy or an award? And it's like, bitch, treat yourself. Live your best hot gay summer. Get yourself some Starbucks. Get yourself a coffee. Enjoy your best hot gay summer. Live your best life. We are in late stage capitalism. The world is failing.
YOLO.
I mean, not to say that we should destroy the planet, but just saying, like, get the damn coffee, enjoy your special snowflake self, live your best hot gay summer. You are special, you are wonderful, you are beautiful. Live your best hot gay self. have protected sex, enjoy yourself.
That soliloquy was great. Oh, I don't know how I can follow that up with my own affirmations. I would say, I would echo what you said. You're hot, like you're gorgeous, you're beautiful. You don't occupy too much space. You occupy the exact space you were intended to occupy in this world. And that space and whatever is contained in it is significant and matters. I say that largely because that's something that I've struggled with a lot. You deserve to shine. I think everybody deserves to shine. I feel like we have points in our lives where we do shine, but like oftentimes we'll have people kind of discourage us from that.
That's a good
Right.
one.
And regardless of that discouragement, just shine as brightly as you can, right? Because at the end of the day, like those people who are being overwhelmed by your shine, they are just that way because they don't feel good about themselves, right? That shine that you emit might impact someone else who needs it, right?
Mhm.
Someone else who might see it and be like, okay, like I can do this too, like, something to that effect. And like I tell people all the time, and it does kind of create a pressure for all of us too, but we are walking embodiments of representation, whether we're aware of it or not, right?
Mhm.
So with that thought in mind, like how do we project ourselves into this world, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. How do we project ourselves into the world? I think that I think that people have a lot of expectations for us that there's, especially with the trans community, that there's this idea that we have to always be like, especially like with, I'm not a trans woman, but like, with trans women, there's a sense of like having to be like hyper feminine, having to pass. There's always this like expectation with trans people or non-binary people that they have to pass as a certain, looking a certain gender or looking a certain way, that you have to pass as something. Demi Lovato just said that they're non-binary, and they were reverting back to using their pronouns as partially she her, because they were tired of having to explain themselves as their pronouns they them, because they didn't pass as non-binary and that androgynous enough. It's sort of like there's always this state of having to come out, this expectation that you have to look a certain way, or that you have to explain yourself, or that you're always in the state of coming out, and that you always have to like present yourselves in a way, and that you always have to tell the and that's what I'm saying is that emotional labor of, do I want to tell the cashier at the grocery store my whole life sob story so they don't misgender me, or do I want to put the emotional labor into my family who is not going to completely understand my identity and always going to see me as the little girl? Or am I going to put my emotional labor into these acquaintances who don't who have this hateful ideology that does not care about my identity and is going to misgender me on purpose because they do not care about my politics or my idea or my history or how I view the world? Is that always that state of coming out, and where people will say hateful things and misgender me because they just do not care about how I feel or my identity, or they see me a certain way, or their perception of me is a certain way, even though they don't care about how I feel about myself or how I see myself or how I view gender or any of those things. And so it's very difficult about putting emotional labor into things that it doesn't matter how other people see me, it's how I view myself. And so it's very difficult in the community that there's a state of living your best hot gay summer is saying, I reject those other people, and that I'm not going to put my emotional labor into those other people. I'm not going to put my time and energy into those people who are going to break me down and tear me down and treat me poorly, I am going to protect my energy. I'm going to protect myself and say, those people are not worth my time. Those people are not worth my energy. I'm going to protect myself, because it's like you having to explain your gayness to someone,
Mhm.
having to come out to other people and being like, well, someone who's saying, well, what about, don't you think that women are attractive? Wouldn't you think that, or coming up with some kind of cockamamie situation in which you would be with a woman in some kind of like insano scenario, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
No, what you said was so thought-provoking. Like, kind of I'm kind of mind blown right now. No, but the truth is, like, it is all about energy. It's about, like, I'm one of those people, like, as an educator, like, I'm so used to having conversations with people that even when I know another person isn't going to be invested in learning, I will still have that conversation. I've learned, though, that my bandwidth matters, right? And
Mhm.
that as an LGBTQ plus person, I don't always need to take on the responsibility or have the responsibility placed on me to be that person to educate someone else, especially if I don't know what their intentions are or if I don't know where they're coming, because some people will just out of spite ask those questions,
or
challenge
be
you.
or be hateful on purpose
Exactly.
and just try to wear you down. It's called sea lioning, where
Mhm.
they'll just take that devil's advocate stance just to see if they can get you to get angry about something, or just to see you get
Right.
upset about something, and just because they're taking that other side, just to see you get upset.
Well, that devil's advocate stance is the stance that they use to gaslight, right? They use it to make you feel as though you're being over dramatic, or over that you are overthinking something, or that you're not considering an alternative situation, right? It's always about, like, well, you're just very narrow-minded. That's where they approach it with. And it's
Right,
like, no, this is exactly who I am. And you have no right to question that at all whatsoever, right?
right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, especially with you as a gay person, there's always like some kind of situation that they're trying to like walk you into, where there's sort of like a gotcha situation where it's sort of like, oh, I guess you aren't gay then. You
If
know
they
what I
saw me
mean?
tonight, they sure would not think that way.
But you know what I mean? It's like, it's sort of like where they're trying to like, I'm not sure if they do it, it happens so much anymore, but it's sort of like situations in which people try to you
No,
know what I'm
so
talking about though?
here is the situation. Here, you're right. I completely agree. Here is the situation of how it's changed. Now, instead of people trying to convince you that you're not gay or not LGBTQ plus in general, they try to minimize it and make it seem like it's not significant. Like nobody cares who you are. Like, and you know what? And I know that there will be people who will say, like, well, like, we shouldn't be in a world where we, like, focus on these different identities, etc. Well, unfortunately, we're not in a world that sees past those things anyway. And two, like, our identities are an extension of our histories, and there are people that have come before us that have sacrificed and done so many things to get us to where we are now. So what, like, if we were to just completely minimize that and not acknowledge our existence and to be like, well, what's the big deal? What does that say to those people? What does that say to all of that time that was spent, right? So I really think that now, instead of them trying to convince us that we're not like who we are, it's all about like just those small, subtle points of minimization that kind of like shut people down, right?
Mhm.
And I think that far more insidious, in my opinion, because it it's very precise with the way people do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they say something like that in front of other people, then, like, of course, as LGBTQ plus people, we have to measure, like, should we call that out?
Mhm.
Should we make a big deal, right? Which I think adds to that discomfort, because then we don't want people around us thinking that we're being over dramatic about something, right?
Yeah.
It's an interesting cycle.
But the
you know.
thing that they try to convince people that they're not is trans. That's like the big argument recently is, oh,
Oh, especially, yeah.
you can't be trans. Like that's not a real thing. Or like that you're not non-binary because there are only such thing as two genders or, so that's like the big argument is that you can't be non-binary or you're not trans. And when people are like, well, no, I really am. It's sort of like there's a certain amount of like, well, for a long time it was you're mentally ill. That was like a big thing until they removed it from the DSM, and now it's you're you're basically a freak in that
Mhm.
you're that there's the you're a pedophile or you're
You're
a
groomer. Groomer is the key word now. Like you're grooming.
yeah, and you're a degenerate and you're destroying America or you're destroying the youth of America or something, like so that's like the big argument is that like that's why they have those don't say gay bills and like all of those other laws is because they think that we're like destroying young minds because we talk about gender affirming things, having kids express themselves at a young age about being able to wear dresses when they're a certain age, or playing with certain toys or having certain ideas about who they want to date when or who saying like I like this person when they're whatever or you know as kids like kids being kids or whatever, I don't even know, but like but it's okay if they express heterosexuality as children, but it's wrong if they express any other sexuality or gender identity. It's totally freakish and that's wrong and you gotta that's degeneracy.
Absolutely. No, you're right, 100%. I just realized we're like down to like a few minutes. So, do you have any like swag that you really love for hot gay summer?
Um, well, I've got my own clothes that I'm slowly making my own clothes for summer. Um, so I don't know, swag for summer. Um,
Well, for me, I mean sunglasses, but parasol. It always helps us feel cute, right? Fan, because it's so warm.
I have my own
It's so
cosplay closet for summer. I have all the wigs. I have all the outfits. I have pink hair. I have purple hair. I have long hair. I have blonde hair. I don't know if you've noticed, but like I have been dressing up all summer. I have been just living my best life.
and doesn't it feel good to be able to like dress up and be expressive when we want, right?
And just be able to you know what I've been really fromping around in is overalls. Like that's just my most bisexual self.
Ooh,
Rolled up at the cuffs, wearing combat boots. Most bisexual self. I just love it.
ooh. I love that aesthetic.
I
I am
love
not
it.
bisexual, but I appreciate that aesthetic a lot. So okay, so a couple more questions before we conclude this evening. So let's talk about body autonomy and sex positivity. How does that play into hot gay summer?
So I think that if you are going to participate in Hot Gay Summer and you are a young single person, it is always smart to be safe with your sex. If you are having regular sex, there are free clinics that do free AIDS testing. Always get yourself tested if you are having sex regularly. I know this is a PSA, but if you are having sex, it's what killed off the old gays. Don't be like the old gays and get AIDS. Get yourself tested, wear condoms. I know people don't like the feel of condoms, but
Well,
wear
and keep in mind, like, none of that would have happened historically speaking had people in power acted and
just saying.
actually cared about our communities, right?
I'm just saying, if you are sexually active, wear condoms. Just consider wearing condoms and get tested. It's part of the gay movement. It's so integral to our whole community. Just
Everyone should, honestly. Everyone should.
Honestly, in every single relationship that I've ever had, or any sort of, I have gotten around. I have always insisted on wearing a condom. It's just every heterosexual encounter, every homosexual encounter, always wear condoms. Always.
Safety is important, and there's no shame in safety.
I've been in threesomes. Always wear condoms. Always insist on wearing condoms. It's okay if you use lube. It's okay if you use toys. It's fun to wear toys. Sex positivity, it's fine. But condoms are just smart.
Absolutely. Oh, Arby's here. Thank you for loving our Pride stuff. So now, our final question. What are some fun activities for living your best hot gay summer?
Besides having sex positivity.
Right. Going to the beach. That sounds like a fun hot gay summer thing.
I went to the beach today, lived my best life, wrote some poetry.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
And I didn't bring my coffee. I usually bring a coffee down to the beach, write some poetry on the pier, talk to the fishermen. Fishermen always have the best. It's always fun talking to the fishermen, writing some poetry, watching the birds, enjoying. It's not so cold. But it was kind of cold down there today, so I was like all cozied up in my little sweater. It was great. But I usually sit next to the. I will. Did I tell you? There's this Christian conservative house that's like right near the end of the pier, and so after Trump got indicted, I sang this song about how does it feel that Trump's gotten indicted now. This guy came out of his house, and I was singing the song about how does it feel that Trump got indicted and that he's going to jail. And the guy just like looked at me and he like threw his. He was like. I was like,
that is the funniest thing I've ever. You just sang it. You like, was it like light singing or like?
I was like, how does it feel that Trump's going to jail?
Out on iTunes, buy the single. That is so funny. Oh, other activities. Like, honestly, I don't get out and do. Like, I think gardening is a hot gay summer thing. That's just me, though. Like, by yourself. Maybe tomorrow I'm gonna go outside and garden with my parasol.
Make a video of it. I'd love to see it on TikTok.
Like, buy yourself a little cute little sun hat. Buy yourself, some comfy, pajamas. Bring out a mug of coffee or tea and just putz around a garden. Plant a flower, plant a seed, pull a weed.
Be a little auntie. Be a little auntie.
Be a little happy auntie, doesn't it sound great? Like, I think it sounds great. Hot gay summer could also be going to a Pride event. If you
I'm going to a concert. I'm going to a concert tomorrow.
Concerts are definitely hot gay summer things. What concert?
I'm going to see Fleet Foxes.
Oh, is that a local musician group?
No, it's a big band. Fleet Foxes is an indie band. I'm going to see Fleet Foxes. I just love Fleet Foxes. They are like super.
I'm curious.
They're from like the 2010s. They're super. Look them up. They're just like super indie. They're like amazing.
I'll have to look them up. I'm excited for you. So when we were at Pride, we got to see a bunch of bands perform before the drag show. And one of the bands, okay. I love me some emo pop punk music. Forever will, right? Because secretly, forever an emo kid. There was this band called Boys of Fall who performed, and they were so hot. Like, I was just like, am I like in my early 20s, like crushing over a band right now? Like,
so Fleet Foxes is indie folk.
And see, that can be hot too.
It's definitely like lesbian bi stuff.
I love that. I love that. Arby says any Adam Lambert or Lady Gaga concert is a hot gay one.
That's absolutely true.
Absolutely. 1000%. Well, my friends, this has been a fun conversation. I've had such a fun time. Next week we have off, but we will be back the last week of June with an episode. I think it's How Did We Survive Being Young? I think that's our topic that night.
TLDR, we don't know.
Right. Somehow we got to this point. But we hope that you've been enjoying our like LGBTQ plus pride themed episodes this month. We love you. And remember, keep reminding yourselves of those affirmations, because you are beautiful human beings and you deserve to
Your
celebrate.
identity is valid, and who you are is valid.
1000%. Well, everyone, have a good night. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.